I am Private Billy Stevensons of the East Yorkshire Regiment fighting for King and Country. We've been fighting in song for some time now. It's been hell, just absolute hell. I've seen what no man has seen here in the trenches. Men laying dead, drowning in pools of blood-filled mud. Body parts flung about the place from continuous artillery fire. We are here living in constant death every day, and our superiors do nothing. Just nothing. What I am supposed to do here with the Reapers constantly watching us. All I know is the Germans on the other side are probably having the same problems. I couldn't care less about them now, as their machine of death fires rapidly and continually. I should only worry about myself and these poor souls beside me. If I am willing to survive this damned and condemned battle, but I will continue to fight for my beloved Mary back home. I will promise to get back to you once this nightmare is over. What was that? I saw a weird shadow flew over me. It wasn't from a scout plane or anything. It looked almost human. I saw more shadows dance in the sky, and it's not sunny at all. It's been raining in this damn blood hole for a few days now. So where are these shadows come from? They come down to the ground and start waving side to side. I think one waved at me. Hope this cursed place isn't sending me insane. But I think that will happen to any brave and sane man in this pit. The shadows suddenly vanished, and the soldier next to me saw and looked spooked too, and agreed it looked freaky. I need to get some sleep and forget about that I'm on guard duty tonight. I woke up hours later and heard these whispers. I couldn't make them out, but it was freaky, but I shrugged it off. My CEO ordered me to patrol the area of the trenches where there is no soldiers whatsoever, but lots of traps to stop the Huns from getting in. Me and the others call it where dead men go. It's worse in here, far worse. It's like entering another layer of hell. I obeyed my order obviously, or I'll be lined up and shot. That would be an easy way out of madness at this point, but I had to endure if I can. I wandered the empty trenches, hearing the dreaded gunfire in the distance. It felt peaceful and quiet here, but it's only a temporary dream. It won't last long. I carried on patrolling through the sprawling maze of trenches covered with fencing and barbed wire. It was black as a dirty Hun's soul. I couldn't see where I was going, but I had my faint lamp with me to keep me company through this abyss. I heard whispers from before again, but louder and more clearer. They sounded like soldiers, but no one was around. Are these voices of souls lost in this God-forgiven war? Or am I just losing it from what's going on around me? It can't be. I pushed forward, but I saw red eyes, faint glowing in the distance with fierce intent. I heard deep growling, and it looked like where it was approaching nearer. I bolted and ran for my life, and I heard thumping sounds right behind me. This couldn't be a demon from hell to punish us, right? For our misdeeds in this blood-fueled war? No. I kept running and running till I heard no more thumping. I looked back and nothing was there. What was it, my imagination? My darkest desires was coming true. I started to have this cold chill run down my spine. It was like death himself has me in his grips. The air becomes frozen and my breath frost. Did the enemy have a new weapon they used already? No. I saw those shadows again from earlier, landing on the ground, then became white as the snow itself. They looked like ghosts of dead soldiers. I stepped frozen in my own fear as they came walking towards me, with their dead, emotionless expressions and dim red eyes. They walked around me and in between, shouting all sorts, screaming and crying like their last moments before death. It got louder and louder and it won't stop. Constant cries of agony and suffering. This is what God is tormenting you with? Stop! Eyes open, soldier! A loud order from the CEO opened my eyes and the ghosts were gone. And no CEO in sight either. I saw someone from the faint of my eye just behind me. It was another ghost, but I know who this one is. It's a ghost of my best friend, Wally Hopkins. He was shot by a sniper a few weeks ago. I couldn't do anything as he was just dead instantly. He just started to stare at me and not doing anything. He was incredibly bloody though, like he just climbed out of hell just to torment me. I waited and he just stood. I said, "What do you want, Wally? What do you want?" "I couldn't save you! You were there and I did nothing! I wish it could have been me instead! You had a family and a loving wife and I destroyed that! Why couldn't it have been me?" At that moment Wally began laughing creepily as he had been enjoying my avid torment. His eyes became red and bleared like they were tapped. His mouth watering with blood like an animal. His laughter stopped and he flew at me, and I began to run as fast as I could. I'm not dying to no spectre tonight. Only a Hun can kill this king's soldier. I ran through the trenches and hid in a ditch in the mud, and saw Wally flew past. I waited a while and he was gone. If I live through this, I will visit his family out of respect. Probably out of survivor's guilt, I reckon. But he was my brother in arms and he made me keep my sanity in this god-forsaken place for a while. And a massive explosion hit the trenches I was in, and looked like the enemy was rushing in. I was only here and this place had no strategic advantage, so why now? I looked up from the trench and saw hundreds coming towards me. If this is my last breath, then let God witness this last stand and this last brave act. They jumped into the trenches and I began using my bayonet to pierce the Huns asunder. But when I looked closely, these Germans weren't human at all. They had these rotting zombie-like demonic faces. Again, is this God giving me lessons due to this war? They tried attacking me, but I stood my ground and stabbed any in the head that came closer. These creatures are sure from the lowest, dumbest level of hell. They rose up to smite me. I kept fighting with every last breath, while shells kept hitting the trenches. But they exploded with human guts and bones. But what is even happening anymore? I swear I'm going insane, but these foul creatures, clear as day, they are here right before me. I fought the creatures one by one, fighting for my life in a silent battlefield. And all of a sudden the earth started to quake as hell was tearing through. A river of blood came washing down through the trenches, away with the creatures and taking me too. More was coming and I started drowning it. If this is the end for me, then let the crimson river take me as I succumb. Then stopped. I wasn't in a river blood at all, but squatting down in a ditch. Was I asleep? Or have I been sitting there for hours and hours? It must be, as I can still see early signs of sun rays. I feel like death itself as I've missed hours. I have no clue what happened, but I need to get back to HQ, report in. That was a night to forget. Just forget it. I reported back to my CEO and clearly lied about it being a silent night. I went back to my spot and I could see the soldier who was sitting next to me, who saw the shadows too, being hauled away with his whole mouth being blown apart. Obviously this was his final night. I went to sit down to my spot thinking about all the awful things that occurred on my patrol. Still thinking if those terrible things happened or not. Like, am I just insane? But the one person on my mind is Mary. I'll promise I'll get back to you. I will get back to you and I will not die. That is my promise. So, hope you enjoyed this other new horror story. It's shorter than the most of them. I believe it's the shortest one yet, I believe. Also, I did it for Remembrance Week, basically. I think it was going on Remembrance Sunday or Remembrance Day. Either or, same thing, but yeah. Let's do it for the troops, you know, the troops. It's a good little horror war story, and it was kind of horror, as you saw. So yeah. Don't know when the next horror story will be, but I know it's going to be a long one. Probably the longest one of all, and probably the one after that, and probably after that too. This game is making a bit longer, you know, and for the voice actors too. Yeah, same. So yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this one, and see you next time with these horror stories. Probably will be a long while, actually. A long while. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this, and stay spooky. Toodles.